The Federal Reserve takes center stage today as oil prices surge, semiconductor stocks remain unstable, and Microsoft and Meta prepare to report after the closing bell. This is the pre-market update for Wednesday, July 29th, 2026, updated at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The overall market bias is neutral. S&P 500 futures are higher by approximately 0.23%. Nasdaq-100 futures are up 0.24%. Dow futures are lower by approximately 0.28%. A reliable Russell 2000 futures quote was not available. The most important event is the Federal Reserve decision at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The press conference follows at 2:30. Most investors expect the Fed to leave its benchmark range unchanged, but markets are pricing roughly a 1 in 3 chance of a quarter-point increase. That makes this one of the least predictable Fed meetings in recent years. The Fed must balance easing price pressure in some areas against renewed inflation risk from energy. Oil prices have jumped sharply after another escalation in the Middle East. West Texas Intermediate is near $83 per barrel. Brent crude is approaching $86. Iranian missiles targeting American forces were intercepted, while United States and Saudi forces carried out strikes against Iran-backed groups. Higher oil supports energy companies, but it increases costs for airlines, transportation companies, and consumers. It can also push inflation expectations and Treasury yields higher. The 10-year Treasury yield is near 4.62%. The VIX is around 17.6. That represents normal to elevated uncertainty rather than extreme fear. The dollar index is near 101.33. Gold is trading around $4,033 per ounce. Bitcoin is near $64,400. The second major market driver is artificial intelligence and semiconductor spending. SK Hynix reported a huge increase in quarterly profit, but the results still fell short of extremely high investor expectations. The stock fell sharply in South Korea and contributed to another volatile session for global chip shares. In the United States, Intel is up approximately 1.7% on more than 3 million shares of pre-market volume. AMD is up around 0.7%. Nvidia and Marvell are almost unchanged. Micron is flat after trading more than 2 million shares. Applied Materials and KLA remain under pressure. The third major driver is big tech earnings. Microsoft and Meta report after today's closing bell. Microsoft investors will focus on Azure growth, artificial intelligence revenue, data center spending, and free cash flow. Meta investors will focus on advertising growth, engagement, recommendation systems, capital spending, and margins. These reports can determine whether the market regains confidence in the artificial intelligence investment cycle or begins another round of selling. Today's earnings reactions are highly selective. GE Healthcare is up more than 12% after reporting earnings of $1.13 per share, above the $1.04 expected. Revenue reached $5.3 billion. Orders increased 11%, and the company's backlog reached a record $23.9 billion. Ford is up more than 5% after raising its annual profit forecast. Seagate is also higher after strong results and better than expected guidance. Artificial intelligence demand continues to support high-capacity data storage. Vertiv is moving in the opposite direction. Shares are down more than 12% after quarterly revenue missed expectations. That decline is especially important because Vertiv is closely tied to data center infrastructure and artificial intelligence capital spending. Procter & Gamble is lower after reporting flat organic sales when Wall Street expected growth. There is no major economic report before the opening bell. The Energy Information Administration releases its weekly oil inventory report at 10:30 Eastern Time. 3 stocks deserve the closest attention. The first is GE Healthcare. It has the strongest large company earnings gap, but early volume is still developing. Watch whether the stock holds its opening range. The second is Vertiv. The stock is down more than 12% on meaningful volume. It is a direct test of demand and expectations for artificial intelligence infrastructure. The third is Seagate. Strong guidance provides evidence that artificial intelligence growth is supporting data storage demand, even while other semiconductor and infrastructure companies struggle. The biggest market risk is a surprise Fed hike or a hawkish press conference combined with another increase in oil prices. The strongest positive catalyst is better than expected corporate earnings and stabilization in several major technology stocks. The opening strategy should remain conservative. Mark the pre-market high and low.
Wait 5 to 15 minutes for direction. Use smaller positions. Avoid chasing double-digit gaps. Define the stop, target, and maximum daily loss before entering. Most importantly,